Hello everyone and welcome to Draw Your Swords, an actual play D&D podcast played with comic artists and writers. I am Sandy, the Dungeon Master, and joining me this week as always...
Hey, I'm Harry and I play Emlyn the Halfling Rogue.
Hi, I'm Holly and I play Veda, the Fire Genasi Bard.
Hey, I'm Lily and I play Fig the Firbolg Druid. And are we gonna go up these mountains or are we just gonna have a peek?
Fuck. Hill jokes.
Yeah! Keeping it on theme, guys.
Excellent. We were worried that you didn't have one.
I did think of one earlier this week, but I can word it and then it just came to me.
Well, we'll move on from that. I feel like you've just... Yeah, Harry's gone. They've abandoned the podcast.
I don't care for your hill jokes. Mountains are serious business and I like them and I'm good on them.
That was dedicated to you. So upset.
So, last time we left Lilion with a newfound companion of Malara, who so happily had to come with you guys to Dornerune Pass. On the way there, you had a couple of encounters, one with a broken cart, you guys helping get the cart on the road and stop a thief from stealing Fig's health potion. You made your way to Bormuir, where there was a quaint little inn. You had a night's stay over there, where you met Gomin, the halfling man, who informed you of Pip, the shepherd's son, who had been in a bit of trouble with some shepherds. Emlyn and Fig wanted to investigate this after Fig promised a ghost that he would get the ring of his lost lover to Dornerune Pass. You investigated the shepherd, paid the debt that was owed to some bandits, and made your way a couple days to Dornerune Pass, where you saw this massive city inside the mountain run by stone giants, or the Alnur, where nobles that run this area, and this massive reverse pyramid inner city mountain, and this huge main street with tons of traders and all sorts of people, and the smells were all very fragrant, and spices of perfumes kind of just overwhelmed you slightly. Okay, as we've entered Dornerune Pass, you've chosen to go to the pass first. This was the main area that Malara wanted to head to before heading on to Zundaria. It was a bit later in the evening when you got here. Being surprised at this whole kind of lively city, it's kind of hard to tell time within this area as there's not a lot of light except from the lanterns. So you get this weird afternoon feeling because everyone's still up and doing things. It's not a quiet town like you see in Lilion, where later in the evening people might just head to the inn and the streets come a bit quieter. It's very, very busy now. You see carts leaving and going into the other stalls. You see it's very, very busy. People are having meals at little stalls, and there seems to be a lot of commotion just generally happening around you. What would you guys like to do?
I have a thing that I have never used, and it's like a background feature.
Okay, the trade contact, or...
Yes, I feel like because we've established that Emlyn has been through here before, and it's a place that people go through trading. Maybe if we're looking for equipment to go up the mountains, then there's someone here that Emlyn already knows.
Sure, no, that sounds good to me. If you know someone like that in this town, then we'll make someone like that in this town. You know of a person in this town called Hiflin, who is a gnome fellow who actually specializes in mounting gear. He's typically on this main floor, and you actually met him when you were having drinks at the Lantern Light. He's kind of a rambunctious fellow, and he likes to talk the talk and is very into his mountains and hills and likes to ensure that everyone is well looked after. And you've seen him give amazing sales pitches to people who are not even going up mountains, and you see them leaving with mounting gear, just like ropes, and they're just general traders. He seems to be very good at his job, Hiflin. Hifteon. So yeah, you know of the main tavern here, the Lantern's Light as well.
I feel like Emlyn mentions that to the others if they're interested.
Well, I guess we have a place to stay tonight then.
Do we want to go and try to buy some equipment now, or wait for the morning?
Will it be open now?
Well, if we're on a time limit, we might as well go and see if it's open now. And the guy who runs the shop will have information about how dangerous this is and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be better to go now and then go out first light, so we have a lot of time in the sun and the brightness.
That's a good idea.
I think
Let's
that
do
makes
that.
sense.
Let's go there, and maybe you can ask him where I can find a turning tea.
You know exactly where this place is. You've been here a couple of times, and you make your way through the streets. You probably sold to him a bunch of times as well. You go through a bunch of different like small little marketplaces. You see a bunch of mostly foods. You see a lot of people sitting at stalls eating foods. Just the general smell of spices kind of just are permeating the air. You see all different sorts of people that you might not necessarily see around typically in Lilion. And you see like these huge giants just kind of walking through the city, mostly taking to the main roads, not to get in the way of other businesses. As you kind of have to squeeze through a couple of little alleyways, you approach this on the far right hand side. Actually buried into the wall, this small shop. It says Hiffel's Hiking Gear. And you see that they're still on and there are people inside. As you approach in, you see that there's a small gnome, blonde hair, long blonde beard, actually with ice picks in the wall, and he's climbing up them, and he says, yes, it's not a problem. See, you can just hang off to them. They're pretty strong. And you see just like two humans just kind of looking at him. He says, yeah, well, we're just heading towards Lilion, so I don't think we'll need ice picks. He says, well, you actually don't ever know when you're going to need ice picks. It can be a good weapon as well, as he like slides down the wall. And he kind of looks over and he goes, oh, hello. Come on, we're just giving a demonstration. Is that Emlyn?
Hey, we were in need of some gear and thought you'd be the best person to come to.
Oh, of course I'm the best person to come to. Just see it? And he kind of looks to the other customers. Yeah, see it? I am the best person to come to. And they're like, well, we just needed to see if you want to get some more rope. He says, yes, I can take your rope. It's not a problem. But what about the axes? And he said, and one of them just goes, just buy them axes from him. I don't think you'll let us leave. And he goes, yeah, it's pretty much the way it is. And they just do a small exchange, and they leave head down with pickaxes.
We were planning on heading up into the mountains, and as you can see, don't exactly have all the things that we might need.
Oh, well, I've got exactly what you need.
Maybe first things, how big do you do your hiking boots?
Who are they for? This big fella?
Yes.
Well, he kind of looks at your feet. We should be able to get them, yes. That shouldn't be a problem. And he kind of looks around, and you see like glass cabinets with, tied ropes and all different kind of climbing equipment, other different ice picks, different backpack pitons and hammers and various bits and pieces like that. And you do see like a small section of shoes, all come in various sizes. He says, I'll probably put you at probably a 5 giant.
I don't think he knows his shoe size, but maybe we can have a try.
Sure. Is without and he kind of like pulls these big, really nice leather hiking boots out, and they have studs in the bottom of them.
Ooh, spiky.
He says, those will ensure that you do not fall over if any icy situations come up. Especially this time of year up the mountain, it can be pretty bad.
That would be good.
Yes, it is pretty good.
How much surely?
Is it this mountain you're heading up?
Yes.
Be warned, they do call them the Forlorn Mountains. It's home to wyverns, jealous giants, and some pretty hardy fools, so you're going to want to get a lot of protection. We have these lovely coats.
What's a jealous giant?
Well, you see, a lot of giants that were wanting this mountain, they fought lovely nobles that run this town, and now they are jealous because they never got to be here, and it's all clan stuff with the giants. I don't really get it. It can be quite dangerous.
I was going to say, we do understand that it's dangerous and that it might be very cold, that kind of thing, but we are on kind of a budget at the same time. So if you could, obviously you can take us through all the stuff that you think we might need, but if you could tell us really what's the most essential, that might be helpful.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh my god, okay, so you know that we've been playing for like quite a lot of sessions now.
I was about
Emlyn
to say.
has lucky. And they're supposed to have re-rolled all the ones that they get.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
Well, it's an 8. That's better.
Better than a 1. Yeah. I will take you through the essentials. Don't worry. You can trust me. I know my stuff.
Oh.
Those ones will probably cost you around 3 gold for those shoes, just because they're on the larger side. We do have a bunch of coats over here made from the best wools, furs, anything you want, we have it available. And he kind of shows you this large rack of different furs and leathers.
I feel like, again, Emlyn, like, if they're from a place with mountains, is there anything that they can they figure out, like, if this is a reasonable price? Do you know what I mean? For all the stuff that's there in the shop? Or do they know, maybe that's like history, or I don't know.
Yeah. I'd say because of your background, you know more about this pricing stuff. I don't think you need to roll.
Sure, okay.
Most business people will probably put it above what they actually need to make some more extra profit, especially on people who are not very good at, persuading other people. His prices are okay, but they're on the higher end. But you know that there's no one else.
Okay, yeah. And he mostly just makes his profit by making everyone buy everything. So
yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, is Malara still with us?
Yeah, she's just kind of like looking in bemusement to all the stuff that she's never really encountered before.
Fig's looking for jumpers, specifically jumpers with fun plant puns on them.
Make an investigation check.
19.
Okay.
It's party time!
As you're kind of going through all the furs, you do find, actually, in with one of these wool jackets, it looks like an older used one that probably traded in, that about to try it on, as a jumper comes out with this kind of really intricate wool plant design on it. No plant pun, but it does have like a nice like ivy. It's all green and browns, kind of your style, I would say.
I'll embroider it. Would it fit me or did it fit Emlyn?
As you were about to put this jacket on to probably fit you, it would fit you, your size.
Nice.
Or is it a cute little crop jumper? Just throwing ideas out there.
I mean, you could make a crop jumper. There's enough fabric to go around.
Maybe like Emlyn wants to go around and like collect stuff for themselves and see how much it would cost.
Okay.
I think maybe they've got like pretty shitty shoes. So one of the things is like hiking boots, but they've got loads of layers already. So maybe they're looking at like the cheapest sort of like coats and things.
Okay.
Unless is there like a lot of extra stuff like ice climbing stuff and like ropes and stuff that is trying to be pushed on them as well?
I mean, he's not being like overly pushy. He is like saying, if you're going up the mountains, you don't know if you're going to need, these pittons. You could always use some hammer and pittons. A couple of extra in case you fall. You could always go a long way. He's kind of doing that thing. But if you are knowledgeable to it, he's not forcing it that way. But he's kind of like, well, you might need it, and kind of like slightly fear-mongering people to be like, oh, you might fall if you don't buy 5 extra pittons.
I feel like that might work on Emlyn, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, why don't you can make a wisdom check to see if it will.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. It's 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Emlyn is afraid of death.
Yeah. As you keep saying this like over and over again, you're like, yeah, maybe I will fall.
Yeah, these are taller than the mountains back home.
Yeah.
I'm not any use to anyone if I'm dead. Fuck. Yeah, so like how much would it cost them to get like coat and boots, and then also how much for the extra stuff?
I would probably say for like everything, so you got your boots that are leather, you got like a nice fur coat, probably like a hat and gloves, as well as if you're gonna invest in maybe an ice pick and a hammer and pittons, I'd probably put everything around 10 gold.
I sort of feel like because Emlyn rolled like so low on wisdom, they are just gonna do that.
Okay, and that's just for your stuff.
Yeah, okay.
While we're like poking around shopping and things, Veda's gonna turn to Malara and say, so have you decided what you're going to do yet?
I'm not sure. I feel like I need to come with you. I couldn't live with myself if you went up that mountain and didn't come down. Although I don't really want to or have any stake in this at all, but I feel like it's would weigh heavy on my conscience if something happened to you and I did nothing about it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, we better get you some warm clothes too.
And she starts kind of like trying on boots and things, and she definitely needs warmer clothes because it's like most of her clothes are like just thin linens. We'll say, Emlyn, you pick up a hammer, 10 pitons, another 50 foot of rope, of good climbing rope, shoes, a nice jacket and gloves and a hat. And your shoes got spikes in them as well.
There's like two kinds of shoe, which is hiking boots that you can attach like
Yeah, it would be like that.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
So like Emlyn could take the spikes off.
Yeah. You
I think that they just change into these shoes and get rid of their old shoes, which were terrible.
Yeah, what are they called? Clampons? Is that what they're called?
I thought they were called crampons. But
Crampons, that's what they're called, crampons.
just sounds like a lot like tampons. Yeah, so every time I say it, I'm like, I think I've got it wrong, but like,
It's
no,
like-
I was right, and it's just a stupid word.
It's like cramps and tampons, so...
Oh, wow, yeah.
But for climbing mountains.
It's
So,
like one of those adverts where they're like, you can do anything when you've got your period.
Emlyn, you get all sorted, kitted out. Fig, what other stuff do you get? You get your nice jumper and your boots.
And my boots. And I guess I'll get a hat
A hat
and a jacket.
and a jacket. Okay.
Can I... Do I realise if Evelyn actually needs this? I suppose I don't have much knowledge about mountains, so I'm just kind of trusting this guy.
Yeah. And Emlyn, and you've heard Emlyn being like, oh no, this mountain will be fine, and now is panicking about the mountain.
Fig's getting a little bit panicked too.
You're just like panic buying stuff.
People
He's
already
just, like,
died because
singing.
of them, you know?
He's just like sitting in a corner, just like... just like having a little panic attack.
No, Emlyn is just like, well, now we'll be fine, because we're prepared now. But who knows what could have happened if I hadn't bought this stuff.
Thank goodness we got it.
That's why I feel like that really works, because Emlyn is like a terrible merchant, and someone else immediately starts like selling to them, and they're like, oh yeah, you're right, oh my god. Even though like that's what they were supposed to do
Yeah.
and be able to recognize.
Veda, what kind of stuff do you pick out?
I think Veda's gonna get some, like, boots with better soles on them. Get some, like, spiky boots for grip. And maybe some, like, you know those, like, leggings that you can get that are all, like, fleecy on the inside?
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, get
Sure.
some of those. And, like, a nice warm coat. Like, hat and gloves and stuff.
I'm imagining Vader in proper like beautiful ski season outfit, you know?
Yeah. He's got
Imagine
a
her
muff.
one of those like
Oh, you would have a
spherical
muff.
hats.
Yeah.
You know, those
Yeah.
like fuzzy hats.
Very, like, sort of fashionable Russian lady.
Mm.
Yeah, and also, you know, like goggles to reflect the snow, but they kind of look like sunglasses.
She might get some, like, rope and stuff, because I don't think she actually has any. So, yeah.
Emlyn
some-
actually has like a lot of rope.
Okay,
A
cool.
lot of rope.
Yeah, Emlyn bought more rope.
Yeah, I have 150 feet now, so.
Okay, cool.
That's so many coils.
Emlyn is just like wrapping around their entire body.
Ice axe or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd say so, because as I say, she doesn't have any of that stuff, because she's got makeup and clothes, basically.
Okay.
Is it that basically like Emlyn bought it and now it's like, oh, well, I guess everyone needs some of that.
Yeah.
Gotta be prepared.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll say for you as well, it's probably 13 gold pieces for everything, since you're also buying all the stuff. Hiflin just kind of looks at you guys and he's like, see, right, I told you. You look perfect. You'll be fine going up the mountains. You don't even have to worry about anything. Any problem that you encounter, you'll be fine. See, I
Thank you
would
for the
have,
encouragement.
I would have told you that the terrain can be tiresome and you'll move a bit slowly on these unkept paths. But now you'll be fine. You can move at the normal pace. You can walk up that mountain like nobody's business.
Emlyn's meanwhile like paying like extra for like straps to like put the ice axes on their backpack.
Yeah.
You know, like every other little thing. Oh, I need an extra waterproof cover from the backpack. Oh yeah, okay, no, I better get that.
Something at the counter, like some gum.
Yeah, like, oh, I don't
Like
have enough
super
hiking
cool.
socks, actually. Oh, energy bars? Yeah, go on.
They're only extra 20 gold. Sweet.
It's just
What's
a
the guy
reenactment
called
of
again,
me,
Cindy?
Harry, in a hiking shop.
Fig goes up to him. He's like, "Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Aye?
Do you know where the turning T is?"
Oh, yes. If you go across the main road, head up to the first level on the first turn as you start heading up to the second level, it will be a tea shop just there called the Turning Tea. Is there anything else I can help you with before you leave?
Do you know if it would be a good idea to have a guide to take us up the mountain, or would we be able to find our way along the path?
You most of the time you can find the way your path, but
Oh, hold
If
on.
you're
Maps.
Yes, map would be a good idea.
you know I could easily take you up as well. We do have maps if it would warrant you. It doesn't go all the way. It's mostly to the first town up the mountain. It is abandoned now, but it will ensure that you stay on the right paths, as you know some can be a bit worse for wear. And there will be sections that you can take out, and he kind of takes out this parchment, unfurls it, and he starts pointing at the maps.
Can we, like, take notes, like, in pencil on the map?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
buy that map, yeah.
Yeah. So he furls up. I'll say for a map, that's another 2 gold.
But I'll pay that.
Is it, because it's the path, is it, like, handwritten?
Yeah, it's that's why it's expensive, right? It's
Oh my God,
cartography,
yeah.
so it's very specific to this area. It does have a bit further north and south of the mountains, but you can tell where some parts are not even like 100% finished because, you know, it was too dangerous to either go up or something happened to the cartographer.
Does it have, like, those tiny little drawings, like little medieval,
Mm-hmm.
weird drawings of, like, little monsters off the edges of the map?
Probably. It probably has, you probably see like a wyvern flying around the top, giants like peeking over mountainsides and stuff like that as well.
I feel like I want it to have, like, weird medieval cat faces where it's just, like, not really clear what monster it is.
Just a
like-
human face on a cat.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm kind of half expecting it to be like we've like been worrying about it and like bought loads of stuff to like help us, and then we're gonna get on at the mountain and you're gonna be like, and you walk up a path.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's fine.
It's just, like, up a sea.
Yeah.
like,
It's
a
not
road.
really a mountain, it's just a slight hill.
Arthur's Seat is steep.
You don't need pittance to get up it.
Yeah, you probably
I
don't need
do.
ice climbing axes, though. Alright. A
Yeah.
lot of
I
people
need to be
do that, though,
carried
and not
up.
very sensible shoes. And
There's
they
actually
Yeah.
just like a ski lift, and you just like grab on and like lift you up.
he, like, because we were ready to buy stuff, he just, like, didn't tell us about the gondola. It's just
It's like, oh, you going up?
Just
Yeah,
resort.
just a couple of gold pieces.
1 silver, yeah.
Where would you guys like to head?
Do you guys want to chum me to the tea shop?
No one knows what that means, though.
Do you guys want to come with me to the cheese shop?
Okay,
Do you
what
guys
did you
want-
say?
Oh,
I mean, what did you say the first time?
do you want to chum me to the tea shop?
Okay, I did understand that. It's just
Yeah,
not a thing that I ever hear people say.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say it for the 5th time.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Do you guys want to chum? Damn it!
Just go with it. Do what you want to say.
Do you want to try it, or are we just going to the tea shop? We're just going
Do you
together to the
want
tea
me to
shop.
do you want me to try again? Okay.
I feel like you need to do it again.
Oh, brutal.
I can't.
Oh, good dude.
I can't. My face hurts.
Okay, we go to the tea shop.
Oh, I'm so tempted to keep all this in. 'cause it's so funny.
Do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
You guys make your way to the Turning T. As you pass over the main road, you start heading up the hill towards the first level. As you're kind of looking up, you can see the lanterns even hanging from this 300-foot cavern at the very, very top, just dangling down and illuminates the roof. As you approach up towards this very small stone building with a couple of seats in front of it that's kind of blocked off with some nice wicker fences, and you can see people sitting there drinking tea, some playing some games, and a little iron cast sign that says the Turning Tea.
We head in.
As you head in towards the Turning Tea, you see a woman wearing a nice flowing red dress, hair tied up in a tight bun, looks to be elven with her long ears, and she sees you approach as she's pouring some other people tea, and she says, "Hello, just take a seat and I will come over right soon."
Okay.
And she kind of looks up at you guys with all this climbing gear and says, "You won't need that for climbing on this hill. You can take all that off if you want."
Take a seat.
She comes over and says, "Well, what would you like today?"
We're actually not here for any tea. Well, I don't know. Do you guys want tea?
Emlyn was already ordering tea.
Yeah, there's
I'd
like a
have
nice
some
menu of
peach tea.
tea.
We're actually looking for someone who dated a ghost or knows a ghost.
Do you not think that maybe they knew the person when they were alive?
Well, maybe. Or knew someone who is now a ghost.
Well, what kind of tea would you like first? And then we can cover this ghost situation.
Does Fig know the names of either of the people?
No. He asked for a description, and the ghost was like, "I don't know."
But Fig has like explained it to us, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that you told me when we were walking around town. So as far as we know, it's maybe like someone who lost a loved one in the war.
Yes. That's
Okay.
all we really know about said ghost.
Maybe Emlyn says that
Okay.
to try and help, and
Yeah.
also orders the weirdest tea on the menu.
Is there any mushroom tea? Is that a thing?
I don't think...
That's soup.
Yeah.
Looking at mushroom tea.
You can have like hallucinogenic mushroom tea.
Oh yeah, see that's what I was thinking. You can get
Do you want to maybe complete the ghost quest before
Nah, we're just going to
a
talk about
weird
tea.
high in an underground city with loads of climbing gear?
You're going to have a weird trip. Climbing mountains.
Yeah, Emlyn orders the weirdest tea on the menu, but not that weird.
I'll have. Do they have any of those teas that are like little flowers, and then you pour in the hot water and the flowers open?
What's that called? It's like lotus tea or something
It's
like
called. I thought it was just called flowering tea. I ordered
Is
it
it flowering
one
tea?
time because I saw it on a menu and I was so excited about it.
that. Okay. You order your teas. She comes back. Emlyn, you explain what the story of the ghost was. That it seemed to be someone lost in the war. Do you show them the ring at all, Fig?
Yeah, I'll show them the ring.
Okay. You know, it does ring a bell. There was someone that used to come by quite often when I was a little girl. He would always sit over there, and she kind of points off to the side, and you see, looking over the hill, because this is like pretty close to the cliff edge, and there's a small bench just kind of looking over it. She says, there used to be a woman that used to always sit there and my mum would always bring her tea, but she doesn't come by, or I don't know what happened to her anymore.
Do you know what her name was?
No, I didn't inquire.
And
Or do you think your mum might know? Can you ask her?
is she around?
Yes, I could go ask. And she kind of goes off for a sec. So, as a bit of time passes, you guys drinking your teas, as this more elderly woman comes by, kind of hunched over, a big shawl on, and a little walking cane. Her hair kind of scraggly, and tried to be put up in like a ponytail, but not very well done. She kind of hobbles over and says, I hear that you were inquiring about the woman who used to sit on the seat over there.
Well, we think so. We're looking for someone who lost their partner in the war.
Yes, Evelyn used to sit there every day. She would come by and wait for her fiancé to come home, but she got ill and she just couldn't go there anymore, and I think she passed away.
Oh, do you know where she's buried?
You would have to take it up with the town records. I wasn't sure. Didn't inquire too much. She wanted to be left in peace a lot of the time.
That's just a sad story, isn't it?
It is very sad. A story far too common in these parts.
But see, the ghost can't rest unless the ring is returned to his love. And
How about we get the full name? We could look at the records.
oh yeah, what's her full name?
Evelyn Garnoff, I think.
Thank you very much for your time.
No
Where
worries.
did we find the town records?
In the The town hall, just to the very, very top of this road. You can see the large building with the pillars built into the walls. And you kind of look up at the very top, you see just massive pillars, probably sitting 50 foot tall at least at the very top.
Do you know if it's still open now?
I don't think so. You could always check, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you know if she lives around here?
Oh, I assume, yes. On the second floor is mostly residential. She mostly probably lived up there. Feel free to look through the graveyard. It is also up the very top, next to the Church of Lathander.
If the town hall is closed, then maybe go to the graveyard? If you guys mind, you don't have to come if you don't want to.
I don't mind coming with you, but maybe we should go to the inn first. Kind of leave all of the climbing gear before going to the graveyard.
I mean, I'm fine carrying it. Do you want me to carry yours if it's too heavy?
It's more that it seemed disrespectful, but I
Most
mean, I'll
aren't
come
going to
with
get
you.
offended that you're climbing.
I think we should drop things off before we go.
But what if the town hall closes while we're doing that?
Well, we can go to the town hall, and if it's closed, then we'll drop things off.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Thanks very much for your time.
Oh,
It's like
Yes,
an
thank
old
you.
as a woman still here.
that's fine. Hope you enjoy your tea. And she just kind of like hobbles off.
I just realised I don't have any money for tea.
They'd all pay for Fig's tea.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's like
I'll pay you back.
2 silver for everyone's tea.
Nice.
They'd all pay for everyone's tea.
I don't think Malara had any, and he's just kind of confused about this whole situation with ghosts and everything like that. She's just kind of going along. She says, well, if you guys want to go and search the town hall, I can see if I can get us a room.
Do you mind going alone?
I'll be
Or
fine.
do you want someone to come with you?
I can do it myself, but if anyone wants to come along, feel free to. I can also take some stuff if you want.
That would be useful if you don't mind.
No?
Maybe
I'm
Emma
curious about this
goes
ghost.
with her because they're like very, very weighed down by stuff. I think it's like probably all their stuff is like bigger than them at this point, and it also means that they can pay for the rooms because I think they're just trying to be a bit of a better person, basically.
Okay.
Veda, me and you?
Okay.
As Veda and Fig now ascend this massive city, it takes a while to get up there. It's not a small feat anyway. It's a lot of walking up these kind of steep hills, all with these houses. Think of like San Francisco with all these houses up on the side. Some built into the stonework, some protruding out as Malara and Emlyn make their way to the lantern's light. And probably about a good 25-30 minutes of walking, Fig and Veda, you crest the top of this hill and you see this very, very impressive building with, like I said, 50-foot pillars and massive doors to fit the stone giants that live here. The doors are shut. Nothing too ornate about the doors or the building. There's no nice carvings. It's all kind of smooth stone all around them.
So,
Should
do you
we
think?
knock? Maybe we should knock.
it looks pretty closed.
Well, wasn't Alexander's doors always closed too?
No, do you want to knock?
Yeah, sure. I'll go over and I'll knock on the door.
Okay.
Or like try to open it. Is it closed?
It's closed. As you kind of approach the
No.
door, you realize that you cannot even reach the handles. Only a giant could open these doors. Even as you slam against the wall to like knock, pa 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 pa, and like you can tell that no sound is entering the halls. It's just like slamming against a stone wall. It kind of hurts your hand a little bit.
Ow. I
So, shall we have a look in the graveyard?
yeah, I suppose. It is giants that run this place, isn't it?
Yes,
Cool.
bigger than you.
Yeah, way bigger than me. I can't even reach the handle. That's embarrassing.
How do you think I feel?
But my height is all I have. You're at least pretty. I'm gonna head off.
You're such a charmer.
I don't know.
As you continue on past this large building, you see a Gothic-styled church way off, tucked in the corner, and you see that the ground has been cultivated to have grass in here, and it's probably been pretty hardly worked to get stuff growing in here. It's the fact that there's not a lot of sunlight, and you can see that sections above you have been burrowed through over the years to allow light to shine down on this church. As you kind of approach, you notice up on the side that the moon is above you, and you can feel a bit of cold air coming through. And you see this pretty large, significant graveyard with very impressive graves. Some with just swords stabbed into the ground, but made of stone. Others pretty simple, small ones buried in the ground. As the gates open, and you do see a small candlelight on the inside.
Of the church?
Yeah.
Maybe they have records in there.
Shall we ask?
No harm in asking. If anyone knows ghosts, it's people at the graveyard. I'm gonna head on to the church.
Okay. So as you walk through the iron gates and you approach the large wooden doors, more built for your kind of sized people, you knock on the door. A couple of minutes pass, you hear pitter-pattering on the stonework as a woman kind of opens the door. You see that her long flowing white hair almost reaches the floor. She's wearing pretty simple white tunics and a symbol of Lathander around her neck. She looks to be maybe half elf or elven. Yes?
You talk, Veda. I'm not good at it.
We are looking for a grave of a woman named Evelyn Garnoff. Do you know if she is in your graveyard?
Or is dead?
Yes, she is. I can take you to her. Is there relation?
Kind of. I know her fiance.
Yes, at her most ill time, she spoke fondly of him. Come, let us go. And she gets a lantern from the side and starts walking. Even though it's kind of light, kind of coming in from the moonlight, and there's a bunch of torches around, she takes it just in case. As you walk around this 150 foot graveyard, she kind of takes you to this exact bit. She says, when she got very ill, we tried to help her, but there didn't seem to be any fight in her anymore. After the war and her fiancé not coming home, it just beat her down, I think.
Maybe what we're gonna do will help her rest.
And what is it you're going to do?
Return her engagement ring.
And what has set you on this quest?
Her fiancé did, in a way, suppose.
Restless spirits?
Yes, you get it! Most people were weirded out by that, but yes, it was a ghost.
Yes, some people do not understand the afterlife and troubles that they can have.
Yeah, so he came to me and he said that he couldn't rest until she got her engagement ring, and maybe it will help her rest too. I don't know how to give it to her. They just bury it in the ground?
Perhaps we can try that. And she kind of points down to a grave. You just see this stone block with a small plaque that just says Evelyn Garneau on it.
I'm gonna go up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna sort of kneel down in front of it. Hello, Evelyn. You don't know me, but I come with something that you're supposed to get years ago. And I hold out the ring, and I say he still loves you, and he's looking for you, and maybe now you can meet.
As you put your hand out and you're saying this, you see a hand come out of the earth. This blue, glowing, spectral light. And it grabs onto your hand and almost yanks you down through the ground, but your hand stops on top of the dirt as this face kind of protrudes out of it. And a very beautiful, you can tell from their horns that they're a tiefling of some kind. Again, eyes kind of sunken away and no visible wounds as she kind of comes up. It's you. You finally came back. I always waited.
Struck me with the ring.
She's just kind of looking at you, Fig, as you're kind of kneeling with this ring. She kind of grabs onto your hand. Of course, I will. I always was going to. Even after all the troubles we had, I was always going to say yes. She kind of takes the ring from your hand as you see, almost coming out of your body, Fig, as you kind of stand back away, this soldier-like figure appearing outwards. No longer his face distorted and drooping, mangled. He seems to be complete, no longer wearing his armor and is wandering lonely around the fields with his spears. He seems to be wearing a nice, simple tunic. His hair's all done off to the side and all connected and perfect. And he just kind of looks at her as they just fade into the ground. Even in this cold cavern, a warmness comes inside of you.
I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna take my staff of flowers and tap it on the ground and grow some forget-me-nots.
As the ground expands with forget-me-nots.
Do I still have the ring or did she take it?
She took it.
Lily wanted the ring, Fig doesn't mind.
For that, you will gain a fate dice. Anytime you want to re-roll a dice, you can on any check.
I'm gonna stand over the grave for a bit. I just be like, done something good here today. Veda, you saw that, right?
Yes, I saw that.
It was lovely, wasn't it?
Yes, in a strange way.
Yeah, in a really weird way, but it was nice. I'm happy that they can rest finally.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just I don't know. It's just nice. Let's go back to the inn or find it.
Thank you for your help.
Oh,
Yes,
that's a
thank you
problem.
very much.
Chicken just nods and lets you be on your way.
Do you think you'd ever find someone like that, Veda?
Like what?
Like how that ghost felt about the other ghost. Just like can't move on without the other person because you love them so much.
I don't know. Don't think I've had that before. Have you?
No. But maybe one day. I don't know. It would be nice.
It would.
Thank you for coming with me.
It's okay. Didn't want you to get lost.
I would be fine. I can handle myself pretty well, even though I don't seem that way.
I know.
So as you guys, you get pointed in the direction. It's on the bottom floor. It takes you a little bit to get there. But as you approach, you see this 3-story tavern built into the first layer of the city. And you could tell that it's expertly hewn from the rock. And you can see there's a welcoming glow of lanterns and a hearth from the inside. As you head inside, the sound of conversation echoes throughout the building and outside. You see a wide open floor with tables placed around a circular bar in the center, with booths skirting the edge. And either side of the entrance are stairs heading up, where you see more tables seem to be placed. At the very top of this building, you see people looking over the edge and having conversation. And this tavern seems to bring all sorts, from wealthy merchants to vagabonds and vagrants. And the smell of herbaceous wine and spiced meats gets your attention as busy barmaids seem to deliver meals to nearby tables. You see a dragonborn sitting in the middle of this circular bar serving people. You probably see Malara and Emlyn off to one side at one of these tables down here. Emlyn, you've already acquired a room. How many rooms did you want?
Yeah, I think we probably got like 2, same as before.
2 rooms? Okay.
And I think that maybe Emlyn has like tried to get to know Malara a little bit. I think they are down at a table, maybe with like food and stuff as well.
So I'll say for the rooms it was 5 silver pieces, as you are brought foods and drinks and things. Malara, she's a bit quiet and a bit hard to talk to. For someone who works in a courtesan trade, there's not much of, she's not very flirtatious, she's not kind of confident in that way. She seems to be quite quiet and a bit...
I think that's fair enough. She's not getting paid.
Yeah.
I think it's like the thing of like at a family gathering or something where there's like 2 like random people left over and they're like, trying to get to know their like cousin's girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
So Emlyn's like definitely like trying to be polite about it, but if she's not very talkative, is not going to be like pushing it or anything.
She does say like, weird, right? Like this whole place and ghosts and stuff. Not used to it.
All kinds of crazy stuff has been happening and it's kind of hard to believe, but they keep saying that it's happened and 1 or 2 weird things have happened, so I almost feel like Fig attracts it.
He does seem the sort. I mean, even since I've come to know you, weird things have happened. Like, for example, the ghost situation, and then he turned into a giant seahorse.
But the seahorse thing is something he can do anytime.
But that's still
He
weird.
was just trying it out. No, I'm not really. Can you do like magic and stuff?
And she goes, well, unless you think this is magic. And she kind of picks up an apple and crushes it with her hand. She says, I don't think that's magic. I think that's
very intimidating, but it's not. Not really what I meant. I just meant I can't really do never really understood magic.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I can just crush things. That's all I'm pretty good at.
Well, that seems like quite a useful skill. I can't really crush things either, to be honest. Pretty much everything I've tried my hand at, I've not really been very good at.
You must have been good at something.
There's a couple of things that I'm good at, but I'd rather have... They're not necessarily great skills.
Great skills to the right people. Whatever skill it is, I'm sure will come in handy at some point. You know, not everything that we do in the guild is above table. Remember that. I'm sure Veda's had some questionable talents and skills.
I don't know. I feel like everything she's ever done has been kind of justified and impressive.
She is quite impressive. as both start, Google-eyed thinking about Veda.
Yeah, Veda just like walks in while they're both like, wow, Veda is so amazing.
Yeah. Doors fly open, Veda walks in.
Hair like blowing in like the wind that doesn't seem to be. It's like localized just to her head.
Everyone seems to turn.
Yeah, a shaft of lantern light just like comes through the door.
Fig walks in behind her and falls over.
My glasses! Oh, Fig. As you enter inside, you see them off to the side, Veda and Fig.
I wave to them.
Head over.
Veda heads over while Fig is just like at the door, beaming, waving.
He's like, "Oh."
As you guys head over, you take a seat. What would you like to do, if anything?
Get some food.
Yeah, I was going to say some food and some wine.
Okay. As you head over to the bar, you see this silver dragonborn, like I said. He's quite stout and has a pretty stern jaw with some protruding teeth. His arms are like tree trunks. He has a few battle scars and he seems to be wheeling himself around in a wheelchair as he comes over and says, "Anything I can get for you?"
We've not met a dragonborn yet, have we?
No. You've probably seen them around though.
Fig is shook. He's in awe. He's just like, "Whoa. You're really cool."
Hello, what kind of food do you have available this evening?
Any kind and everything we've got. Anything you want in house.
Oh, I don't have any money!
Fig, I'll buy you dinner.
She was about to have like a tantrum.
Oh god, that's a horrifying image. Fig having a tantrum.
It's like, "Ah!" Doesn't get this money thing.
Any spiced meats you want, we've got all different types. Comes with vegetables. We have chickens, perfectly cooked. We have some of the best chefs in all the Zundarian Empire.
Vera, how much can I have?
Just get whatever you want. I'll have some spiced meats and a glass of wine, please.
I'll have a selection of spiced meats.
Very well. It would be a little bit.
Do you do different portions for like giants?
Well, you are bigger, so yes, I would. If you want a larger portion, we can do that.
I was just making sure. That'd be great, thank you.
In a town run by giants, it would be pretty rude to not. Very well. Call that 2 silver for everything.
That's not bad, right?
It's very reasonable.
I've never seen a dragon person before.
Have you never seen any walking around?
Maybe like passing, but not so up close. They're so cool looking. I love their teeth.
I always forget that you haven't really been on this plane for very long.
It's very exciting, and I think I'm enjoying it.
As Malara says. Is that what you meant by he's like a baby?
Who said I was like a baby?
Well, you are kind of learning everything.
I'm an adult.
I'm sure you are, Fig, but if you're new to this place, it's not unwarranted that he might see you as a baby as you're learning everything new.
I mean, I guess. I feel like he's used to, like, his mother just saying he's a baby all the time, or that he's a kid, or, my baby, which is, a loving mother thing. Yeah. But it's just sort of like, please, I'm an adult.
Sometimes it's nice being around people. If everything's new to you, you're so excited about it.
It's exciting.
So it's a good thing sometimes.
You bring a whole new enthusiasm to the world, Fig.
Thank you.
I hope we meet some other kinds of genasi when we're walking around as well, so then you can be excited about them.
There's other kinds.
Yes.
As you probably look around, you do see various types of genasi around, but you see, especially ones that their skin looks like rocks. They look like just rock people just walking around.
Vader's just going to be like, look, see?
Oh.
I think Emily maybe hadn't made the connection that that's different kinds of the same thing.
We sorted out the ghost thing. It was very sweet.
It was rather sweet.
They were dating.
Okay.
That's what you made it sound like? Well, I'm glad that you did the return.
I think at some point, Emlyn, we need to make sure that you are there for one of the stranger things that we do, because I feel like you think that we are both a little
I
bit
think
crazy.
that the reason they happen is because I'm not there. It's you magic people drawing all the magic towards you with your magic energy.
Maybe.
I've
Can you
never
not
seen
do
a
any
ghost.
magic, Emlyn?
No,
Not even like a little bit.
no, because I'm a normal person.
Normal people can do magic.
Not a lot of people can do magic where I'm from.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do they do then?
just normal stuff. Like they have farms and bakeries. And there's
Those are magic,
mines
though.
And, well, it's a
How
different.
do you make, like, a cake out of
I
loads
mean,
of other little things?
Some people can,
Amazing.
but no one can like turn into a seahorse that I've seen.
Malara's just like nodding along with Emlyn, just like no idea.
You
I
know,
guess
a couple of people can like clean things up, but that's it. I mean, clean things up without using their hands to do it. But it takes almost as long, so I don't really see the point.
I think I figured out how to do that, and like Vader's just gonna like cast prestidigitation and make the table really nice and clean. No
Yeah.
like
Whoa!
bits of food or like water on it anymore.
See, you just did it like it was nothing.
Veda, what? When did you learn to do that?
I've just been practicing.
Hey,
I try it and just slap the table.
would it work on my hair?
Is your hair dirty just now?
It's pretty gross.
Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, it curls out and gets a bit more tidy.
Oh,
Can you do
damn.
it? Can you do it on my fur?
The ultimate dry shampoo. I'm so excited about it.
Pretty much is.
Yeah.
Like puts his arm out to Veda.
Okay, cast it again.
Yeah, all the like the little burn marks and stuff that you had on your fur, they kind of like fall away and you become clean again.
I feel like all of Fig's like molting fur just goes falls off. Now he's all soft.
I've been trying to do this as well, and she's gonna try and cast prestidigitation to make like a sound and like sing a note and try and harmonize with herself.
Oh, cool! Yeah, you can do that.
Oh.
Vader invents the
Emlyn is
looping
like-
pedal.
Yeah, I think Malara is just like, what? Oh.
Veda, you're amazing.
Thank you.
That's what we were saying. Emily says that pretty quietly, though.
I could make myself look like one of you guys.
Well, I feel like that would
That's-
be a bit weird.
Maybe don't do that.
I disguise
Maybe don't
myself
do
to look
that
like
at the
Veda.
table.
I did.
People can see you. They're gonna
I'm
think that you're
Veda,
some
blah,
kind of
blah, blah, blah.
thief.
I don't sound like that.
I don't sound like that. I can.
Is my nose really that big?
Did I get it wrong?
Yes.
Well, it's maybe a little off in a couple of places, but it's very good. Otherwise,
Thank you.
Emma's trying to come down in the middle.
Fig's just like doot 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 doot, like swinging his hands, doing like jazz hands.
You don't sound like her though, so
Please don't pretend to be me. Please.
I can't get that small.
you can be a
Five
5
feet
foot.
tall,
Emily.
Emlyn. I could be all the you want to be.
That's
To turn
rude. What?
big.
Ellen's not like unhappy about this species.
I'm gonna put back into like
Okay. As you have your food, the evening kind of goes on. You head up to your rooms, which is on the third floor. The rooms are pretty luscious, actually. Similar setup to the Golden Grain, where you have one large canopy bed and two smaller ones within one room. You also have a nice sofa, and there's no real windows in this area as it kind of like blends into the rock, but it's all nicely lit. There's actually a chandelier in here with burning candles and a small kind of hearth off to the side as well that you can do as you so wish. There's obviously a nice kind of ornate bowl for washing your face and things in, and there is a small table with bowls of fruits in them as well.
Call it. I go to the fruit bowl.
Okay. Is it the same set with Emlyn and Fig and...
I think that's what Emlyn intended.
Yeah.
We got the
Now
right-
we switch up, guys.
As you guys go to your separate rooms, as your night kind of comes to the close, Malara says to Veda, you know, I know we're going up the mountain tomorrow, but I feel like I should give you a bit more insight to who I kind of really am and why I'm so frightened of the outside world. You saw me fight before. I'm pretty good at it, but so were a lot of my family. Like I said, they're just not around anymore. I know you're from Zisan, and your family probably fought on the other side. Mine fought on the Zundarian Empire. They were pretty fearsome fighters. I feel like I was gifted with some sort of innate strength, and so were they, and they were always on the front lines, carving through people as they want to do. The war gets the better of some people, and not everyone comes home. For me and my family, my brothers and my mother and father. So I was always worried to leave in case a fight happened that I couldn't win.
How old were you when they all left?
Young. I was taken in by the person that used to run the known world. She looked after me. I was 5, I think, when they left. I mean, they
I'm
were
sorry.
always fighting before that as well, but
I'm sorry that happened to you.
I'm sure you have known people to go off and not come back, and I'm sure your family has known many other people that have done that as well. The war was a terrible thing.
My family, definitely, but I was not born yet when the war ended, so...
I'm a bit older than you then. I was on the tail end of it. One day they just didn't come back, and I never left.
My father fought in the war, and he always told me how awful it was. It was senseless, really. Not entirely, but the amount of people that died in the war is unforgivable.
The reason I'm going up, I know this seems crazy, but, you know, I've never got attached to anyone else except from Harper. Kind of scratches Harper. Anyone else just kind of seems to leave. And I don't want to be the one to leave you to freeze up there. I need to know that you're safe. And I know this is a very strange situation that we kind of went out on a date and, you know, things happened. And, you know, I don't know how to feel about all this situation. I don't know how you feel about it. I do care about you.
I care about you too. I'm sure we can look after each other and hopefully get to Zandaria and find your friend.
It is a bit of a awkward situation. I will say that me and my friend were romantically involved at some point, but...
I had assumed.
Yes, but it's more for the knowledge of I've just lost someone else and I did nothing about it. I feel like weighing down on me too much. I need to know. But I will help you with anything that you need to do. And she kind of like holds your hands. If anything happens, I will try protect you. I promise.
I'm sure between us we will be fine. I wouldn't mess with us.
She smiles, grasps you in her massive arms and just holds you a bit tighter. As the morning comes, what would you guys like to do? Are you all prepped and ready to head out?
Do we have snacks?
Yeah. You have all your rations and stuff, yeah.
But do they count as snacks?
Emlyn bought all those power bars.
Oh, yeah.
I think didn't I also buy like loads of food at some point?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did,
Yeah.
but
Really good.
I'm asking snacks. Like, do we have
Trail
canned
mix.
fruits? Trail mix for the trail.
Trail mix, but everything apart from the M&Ms has been picked out. Just a bag of M&Ms.
So,
I feel like if we are doing like mountain stuff, then maybe we are like up early. Maybe feel like Fig probably wants breakfast first.
Obviously.
So
Can't climb a mountain on an empty stomach.
Yeah, I think that maybe we're up like early so we can get all that sunlight like before sunrise.
Yeah.
But if it's winter, I don't know how early that is.
It's like midday.
10.
I feel like people still start at like 4 a.m. so that they start before the sun starts coming up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's what
and
Emma's
you
ready
get
and
there
prepared
and the
to
sun's
do.
up.
Yeah, that's the early birds.
Maybe Emily's trying to do that and Vader's like still doing her hair.
Well, to be fair, she's putting a hat on, so
Yeah, maybe
think
it's like
she'll
real
just-
practical. Maybe she has like a special traveling bun ready to go.
yeah, she'll just like throw it out of the way, put it under a hat. It's fine.
And it somehow looks amazing, right?
She's a bard. She's got a...
Yeah.
She doesn't actually. She's just cast disguise spell.
Underneath, she's a mess.
Yep.
Underneath, like a mess, but so practical. So
Yeah.
ready.
You got your big backpacks on, you're all ready to go. You've had your breakfasts, which probably consisted of lots of porridges and, you
I
know,
was going to say it's porridge. It's definitely porridge.
yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
like warmer foods, even probably some meats as well. You probably stuff them into your pockets for eating later, Fig.
Yes.
It's a pocket full of ham.
I got a pocket full of ham, yeah.
As you exit, same way you came in of the Dornerune Pass, passing this large stone giant as he watches you leave.
I say good morning.
Good morning. Hope you enjoyed our town.
It was great, thank you.
Good luck on your travels.
Have a lovely day.
You too. As you head back out into the road, you make it to the crossroads where the split towards Dornerune Pass and the Forlorn Mountains, where you then turn up towards the Forlorn Mountain. You start heading up there, taking out the map and trying to investigate. You notice a couple of paths, and even on the map you see the faint drawings quite far away from the scale of the mountain of a fortress sitting at the top of it. Thinking this is the fortress that Veda saw, you start heading off of that one. You reach the bottom of the hill, frost covered floor, the sun now probably starting to rise properly as you begin ascending the mountain. Let's see what the weather like today. 1. Okay. How quick are you walking? What's your walking pace here? Are you being slow? Or are you normal walking? Or are you quick pace walking?
Normal?
Yeah, I feel like normal.
I think maybe normal because we want to be able to keep going for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you start actually heading up the mountain, the wind starts picking up slightly, and Emily, you immediately start like freaking out at this blowing wind. It's this large, craggy rock face off to the side, as there's mostly a steady slope down to the left, and a light snow begins to fall on your face. And now it starts getting a bit more colder. Most of the day passes without concern, but as it comes into the later afternoon, what's the walking order we have for you guys?
Veda would go like second.
Who's got the map?
I was going to say, does it make sense for Emily to have the map? I don't know if they're actually going to be the best at reading it.
What would count as reading a map? Is that survival, Sandy?
I think
Yeah.
it's investigation. I thought you said it was an investigation.
Yes, it would be for finding stuff. But
Should Veda have the map?
Okay, maybe Veda should be in front reading the map then.
Or is that just finding stuff, or is it reading it as survival?
Is Vader confident with them? Like, yeah, let's
Investigation
whoever.
or survival,
Emma's very
whoever.
mediocre at everything.
Well, Veda's
Then-
investigation's +4, but I feel
'Cause
like
then
Fig's survival is like
survival-
+8 or something.
Yeah, it's +7.
Yeah.
I would like you
I
to
was
use
thinking about in
Ingo.
terms of characters, but that's fine.
Yeah, I feel like it makes more sense for Fig to read a map than Veda.
Also, if Fig's in the front, he could like make a path for the smaller folk.
Yeah.
That is actually probably the smartest thing, right? If it's snowy.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the snow levels right now are, they probably hit about 7 inches throughout the day, so pretty big. But
That's a lot of inches.
yeah,
If you're not that tall.
it's kind of been like a steady fall on top. There hasn't been much throughout the day, but it starts probably about 6 inches, and then another inch falls throughout the day. So it's Fig, Veda, and then probably Malaro will be at the back.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. And then
I
Emily.
feel like Fig doesn't know how to read a map, but he sees it and he's like, this just makes so much sense.
If Fig is doing the map, who's keeping an eye out?
See, that's the problem, right? I think that Emma should be doing the map and Fig should be keeping an eye out.
Okay, or should Veda have the map because she has good investigation and I'll be keeping an eye out?
Okay, Vera can have a map. She can still go in second, though. She can just direct Fig.
Yeah, Fig's just paid, like, he's the plow.
Okay, so Fig, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Okay. Natural 20. Do, 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 do,
Nice.
do.
So yeah, you're very aware of everything. You notice on the ground that some bits might be harder to walk on, and with your new shoes, you kind of feel a bit more attuned to the ground, and you can safely walk around. There's comes to points where you kind of just stop for a minute and you listen out. And it's quiet enough, and you feel confident you can move on without any issue. Veda, can you make a investigation check for me?
I forgot to say, when Fig tries on his new shoes, he definitely walks around like a dog who has shoes on. Like the first 10 minutes.
It's like trying to kick them off.
12.
Yeah, you start heading up the mountain. You see that the first main stop is actually a small town. You lead towards there. From your normal pace of walking, you are able to hit this actually first little section by nightfall. As you make it up over the ridge, you see the ground kind of flattens out to a mostly frozen Corrie Loch or tarn, if you will. On the banks are 4 stone hovels surrounding a pretty good sized chapel, but it's all in heavy disuse. The stonework is frostbitten and weather worn. As you approach, the smell of blood catches your nostrils, and you see smatterings of blood all over the snow, but no bodies around.
Is it like fresh blood?
You want to investigate it?
Can I cast Symbiotic Entity first?
Sure.
I see it and I'm just like,
Okay.
pop. Okay, what was I rolling?
Investigation?
Shit.
Can Vera
Is
help?
it- Yeah,
Sure.
Veda, come look at this with me.
22.
Okay. As you head over, it seems to be a lot of blood. As you kind of start investigating around Fig, it does feel kind of new. It's not been here for, months and months. But it's hard to tell because of the cold, but it seems pretty fresh. Veda, you kind of go over to these hovels and you notice there are posts for, horses to be tied up. And you do find some torn up parts of saddle and the hitching posts with bloody reins all around them.
Who did this?
So there's no, people's bodies or horses anywhere.
No.
Just blood.
Are there any
blood.
tracks, or can we tell what direction the people were being attacked in?
Make a survival check.
18.
As you kind of trying to now investigate, do you light up a torch or anything to see, or are you just using your eyes?
Is it dark?
Yeah, it's nightfall.
Can I see?
You can see a little bit. I just want to know how much you can see.
I feel like I'm just walking into a shitstorm. I will cast Produce Flame.
As you kind of look at the ground, Malara's kind of sees all this blood and she takes out her axe. Probably sticks close to Emlyn a little bit. As you look at the ground, you see footprints that have had snow on top of them, and it's kind of hard to see a real direction, but you do see these large, weird, it almost looks like someone walking on their tiptoes, but they're big, and you see a lot of horses around and a lot of feet.
Can I tell what this creature might be?
Make a...
Would it not be nature?
Oh, nature. That's the one I was thinking of. Nature.
They're exactly the same.
Yeah, they're both intelligence.
16.
16. Okay. How does Fig know this information?
Possibly some books he's read or stories his mother told him when he was younger.
Your mother told you about dark abyss creatures, and that's why you shouldn't leave. She talked about pleasant orc-like creatures that can be nasty, but when the darkness gets them, and it can get anyone, they turn into these horrible creatures that even kill their own for no reason other than fuel their unbridled rage. And you know them as Tanaroks.
Can I hear anything? Listening out, trying to hear for
Sure.
snow moving.
Yeah, make a perception check.
19?
Not snow. You hear cracking ice. even from this blowing wind in your ears and the kind of vision of being a bit obscured by the snow, you hear the ice as you kind of look over to the side across the quarry lock. You know, is a figure coming towards you, holding himself pretty big, about 8 foot tall. You see silhouetted in the night sky large horns, all protruding from different parts of his body. They're slowly walking towards you, a bit quietly, still walking towards you.
See, guys, there's something coming. I point it out.
I kind of feel like if it was dark, Emlyn probably had a lantern out.
Okay.
It's like a hooded lantern though, so it's only shining in one direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe they put it down. I assume we're not all super next to each other, but they put it down somewhere and walked to somewhere slightly different.
Okay. Yeah, so there's buildings to like obscure your vision. You kind of put it down on a main path. You know, you got this dilapidated church and things as well. So where would you like to go?
I think not super far away from the lantern, but just like far enough out of the way that if the thing, do you know what I mean, like 20 feet from the lantern,
Okay.
close to a building with their bow out, like ready to shoot kind of thing.
Okay.
I want to ready my staff.
Okay. Are you just staying where you are and staff out?
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe move back a bit and shout at it, maybe?
Okay.
Probably not the best person to do this.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna be like, who are you? Friend or foe?
Keeps walking towards you. As you shout this out, Veda, what are you doing?
I was saying Veda puts her hair out.
Okay, so it darkens. Cool.
Bloop. Stick close to Malara.
Malara probably moves up closer to Fig as he's standing directly kind of in the middle of this little town with this thing coming towards. She kind of backs Fig up and kind of moves towards him.
Yeah, I said I move back a little bit.
Yeah. And then Veda, you're behind them.
Yep.
Okay. So you've got 2 broken down buildings behind you guys, with Emlyn hiding behind one with the lantern in the middle of this, and then a building off to your left hand side, and the church further on from that, and then the lake. As this thing now, with Fig shouting out, starts charging up towards you.
Oh, yikes.
Fig, what would you like to do since you're kind of right and it's coming towards you? And it's just charging. It has, as it kind of comes into this lantern light and your kind of produced flame, you just see large protrusions and almost orc-like features, but is now covered in this red fur all coming down on it. Its legs bend like a devil's, and large protruding horns come off every part of its body. It's holding this large great sword that's almost like a large machete.
Oh, God. And he seems aggressive, yes?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna hurl my produced flame at him. 12.
As you launch your fire forward, kind of unsure what this thing is, it just flies wide.
Yep. I go, and then I run off to the side a little bit.
Okay. You kind of like slide into the snow. Are you ducking behind a building?
Yes.
Okay. Say, Emlyn, what would you like to do as this thing's kind of charging?
I think they had an arrow knocked, and as soon as they see it charging at Fig, let it fly. Wow, what?
That's uncharacteristically.
Yeah.
And that 20. Does that hit? Does that 27 hit?
Yes, 27 hits.
Sweet.
Be fucked if it didn't.
In total, it's 14 plus 16.
Yeah. So 30 damage?
Nice.
Holy
Damn,
heck, dude.
Emlyn.
So what does it look like when you hit him?
With their new fear of death. And I think because the whole place was so creepy and ominous, I think they are very nervous and very tense, and kind of like peeking out from the side of the building. They have like lined up exactly to try and hit it in the head.
Oh yeah. With your tension, you put more tension into the bow, and you launch this arrow, and it shoots incredibly straight, breaking through all this lightly falling snow, and it nails it right on its cheek, and it goes right through, and it kind of like spins slightly and kind of tumbles in the snow and starts spinning, like rolling towards Malara and Veda as it kind of falls on the ground and kind of slides back up. Is there anything else you want to do?
I think I'm gonna use my bonus action to hide.
Nice.
It's 13.
Okay,
Not
sweet.
very good.
You don't know how good it is. As this thing is now like spinning towards you and it kind of catches itself, Veda, it's kind of looking down now at Malara. What do you want to do?
If it's like coming towards us, Veda would cast Dissonant Whispers.
Nice. Okay. So what does it look like when you're casting it?
I feel like it doesn't look like much because it's just a vocal thing. I think maybe like make her eyes glow a little bit more, and she just kind of whispers. It doesn't really look like much from the outside because it's all like in the target's head.
It rolled a 1. It wasn't a natural one. It just has a negative bonus to it, so it rolls a 1.
Takes 15 psychic damage.
Holy heck.
And has to move immediately as far as its speed allows away from us.
As it's spinning along the floor, it kind of gets up, it grabs its head and by the horns and starts like punching itself in the face, and it turns and starts running away. Why, you guys have fucking fucked this thing up so quick.
Amazing.
Don't mess with the squishy squad.
As you see Malara just kind of like holding the ground, just preparing, just in case. Trying to be the target here, as it kind of like spins round. And starts charging towards the main target, being Malara. And it takes this huge greatsword and is going to take a swing towards her. 24, dealing 9 slashing. As this large greatsword comes directly onto her shoulder, she tries to block it with her great axe, and the strength of this thing just overpowers her and digs deep within her shoulder as she kind of lets out a scream of pain as this thing, now with its mouth, bites into the other aiming for her like throat. 21, dealing another 7 damage as she just lets out a scream of pain as she, all the might that she has, brings up her great axe to this creature, flying to a frenzied rage, and is going to attack. 16, dealing 13 slashing. As she brings up this axe, as this thing's biting into her shoulder, you see the crimson fall from her body, landing in the snow, almost steam rising from it. As she thrusts the blade out of her shoulder, throwing the axe into its chest, it digs in deep, as she then goes for another one straight to its chest. A 10, as it brings its sword round and parries. You can tell this thing is now surprised at how formidable this group is. You see the wounds almost stop bleeding as Malara just lets out this guttural roar. Don't try me, monster. Pull around to Fig as you kind of like ducked off to the side. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try something new, and I'm gonna step out, and my eyes are gonna go completely white over, and I'm gonna put my hand out and cast blindness deafness, but I'm gonna cast blindness on it.
Okay, cool.
Constitution saving throw.
15.
Oh yeah, just saves.
Get used to the spell. What does it look like when you cast it?
My eyes just go completely white, and it does shoot with like a beam of whiteness towards the creature, and it's trying to hit its eyes, but maybe the creature like moved out of the way and it hit its side or something.
Yeah. As
And it comes out like water and it hits it.
Malara's fighting this thing off and kind of pushes it out of the way, the beam just goes wide into the darkness and turns to ice, smashes across the floor.
I'm gonna go around the corner.
Yeah, as you kind of like start running back around the corner.
Don't run, casually spin.
Emlyn, what would you like to do now?
I think if they can do the same thing, ducking out from behind the wall and still see it, then they're going to do that. It's a 12.
Okay. It misses. Adrenaline starts pumping up now, and you can feel your heart beating, and you kind of, the bows keeps bouncing up and down, and you get a bit cold, and it just shoots wide, and you hear it hitting off the ice, and anything else you want to do?
How far off is it from me?
30 feet away from you.
No, I think they just go and hide again.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to be any good close up, so...
As you just kind of hide off, you want to roll stealth again? Okay, 26.
26.
Yeah. You're just vanish into the shadow. As Veda, you now see this thing in full brightness attacking Malara. What would you like to do?
Are they like right up at each other?
Yeah, pretty much. It's almost like these two massive creatures just like fighting toe to toe.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like if they're right up against each other, she would maybe cast Produce Flame and throw it at the thing.
Okay, 15. That hits.
Ah, 2 fire damage.
It was all going so well.
It's just like...
Yeah. Yeah, as you're kind of trying to focus where to aim it with your fire in hand, and you kind of just launch it, not at your full kind of power, and it strikes against his shoulder, and he kind of looks towards you, Veda, as he is going to... I think he's going to go for Veda. He leaves the
Bring it,
range...
bitch.
Yeah, he leaves the range of Malara as she just swings out with her axe wide. 21, which she does. As it slams into his shoulder as he runs away, it kind of like sneers back towards her, seeing that he wants something to prey upon, Veda being probably the smallest target for him that he can see. He runs over towards her and is going to, as he brings his large machete-like blade up towards you, and 16, as he slams against your chest with this large attack. 15 damage. As you feel it and you kind of like fall to the ground, as you notice just crimson falling from your chest, and you kind of are winded by the strike, as he is going to, with his unbridled fury, attack with his greatsword once again. 18, I believe, and then 9 slashing for a finish off. He bites into your shoulder with a 19, dealing 5 piercing damage to you.
Vader, are you still up?
She's still up.
With 29 damage.
Tougher than she looks.
Yeah. As he just leads these massive slams into you. One cuts pretty deep into your left arm, and you can just feel the blood pouring down your now blood-soaked furs as Malara just comes charging towards him. Come back here, fool! Start a reckless attack. 16, which hits him for 7. As it slams into his back, and you now see the leg joint becomes kind of loose, and he kind of like starts hobbling and like turns towards her as he's still trying to attack you, Veda, as another great axe slam, almost with strange quickness from someone Malara's size, as she hits, as she's got reckless attack for 17 and does 13 damage. As she slams into his leg, as his leg flies off, he almost does a backflip at how strong this attack is, and she then slams down on the chest with his axe as he flips over and lands onto the ground with a mighty thud. You see Malara, her eyes kind of roll back in her head, and she falls over into the ground. Snow piles up, and you just see her breathing pretty heavily.
Vader, Malara, and I run out there. Are you guys okay? Do you need healing?
I'm just tired. That was a bit much.
Vader, you alright?
I could use some healing.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds. I'll take Veda's hand and cast Cure Wounds on her. 6 healing.
Have we already looked in all the buildings?
No, this was like immediate because the blood was all around. But as you kind of look at the buildings, like most of them are, the roofs have like caved in, a couple of them, but you could go in them.
Like they had caved in a long time ago.
Yeah, they look very, very old. They're not new at all.
I think Emily wants to see if there's anyone in the church.
As you head to the church.
Looks like the whole town has was abandoned a long time ago.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Like
way.
the blood was fresh, but the town is old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe they do want to go stealthily because they think that maybe this thing attacked the people they're looking for, or there could be people like hiding from it in there, or they're not really sure.
Okay, roll stealth to see if you can. 25.
25.
Ooh. As the wounds are being mended by Fig, Emlyn, by yourself, go off to investigate the church. It's not too far away. You can still see them in eyesight as you slowly approach this dilapidated church. You peer inside and see whatever this creature was had gotten the people in here as well. But he didn't take what the remains were. He apparently had his fill of what was over there. You see a couple of orcish bodies.
I think Emily wants to search them. Do they look like they're in armor, part of a military force, or do they look like they're travelers who are just coming through?
They are wearing armor. They did have weapons. You do see them scattered across the floor, splintered bows and arrows across the floor. So they did look like some sort of militia of some kind. Make an investigation check to see what you can find.
22.
As you investigate their pouches, you see a small map similar to the one that you have. You find between them about 15 gold pieces, and you find a note with the wax seal, of the Obsidian Prince.
What does the note say?
Seek the mountain pass. Head eastward up for the Forlorn Mountains. There you'll find the contraption to control the coming meteor.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you weren't even joking at the start.
Oh my god. Alright, Emily takes the note and also the map and like anything that might be like, basically anything that might be useful if it's like little extra bits and bobs, like if they have little bits of warm clothes, maybe that's not ruined or anything like that.
Okay.
And then wants to be stocked up and goes to show the others the note.
Okay. As you come back, you see that Malara's eyes are kind of just like sunken in, and it's hard for them to keep their eyes open, and they're just extremely tired.
Are you wanting to rest, Malara?
Yes, I feel like we need to rest here for the evening.
I will find us somewhere nice for tonight.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah,
going to
if we
use
can-
my sweet hovel background.
There are some hovels around.
There's some hovels. I want to find a good hovel.
Yeah, you find a good one. You kind of prop up some of the roof, and kind of fix it up a little bit so it's a bit nicer.
Fire or
Okay.
no fire?
I guess you need a fire. Well, it's in a little building, so it might be.
Is
kind
it
of-
sheltered enough that everyone's warm
Yeah,
Mm.
it would
without
be.
a fire?
We can all
I'll,
sleep in a pile.
yeah, I'll carry Malara in.
She can walk, but she's a bit like stumbly.
That's fine. I'm strong.
Did Emily get a sense of they pick out the lantern again to be able to show those guys the letter? Did they get a sense of how long ago the orcs died?
It didn't seem that long ago, but you'd have to make a medicine check to get like a real time.
Can I
was-
say that they did that, or
Sure, if you want to. Yeah, if you were curious about it.
I don't think their medicine is very good, but maybe just like also if snow has like blown in over the top of them, or if they're like really cold and frozen, or rigor mortis, or what.
Yeah. Okay, 17 for your medicine check. It's pretty good. There are no. It's hard to tell because it's frozen. No, it's very cold up here. You do see like a bit of snow that had been blustered in. They didn't seem too old, maybe a day or two.
Okay, cool. Emlyn relays that and around the lantern, but it's like, again, it's closed off so that it's only shining like a little beam of light.
Mhm.
And shows everyone the letter, and I guess we compile like a blanket pile so everyone can sleep in a huddle.
So I suppose we are on the right track then?
This doesn't sound great, does it?
No, it really doesn't. I think it's probably good that we are going after them though. Sounds quite serious.
It sounds very serious.
I almost think it's good that it's a dangerous path.
Well, hopefully we will just find their bodies and then problem solved. We can go
Yeah,
home.
That's the thing, yeah.
that'd
mean,
be
if
great.
there's- We don't know how many of them there are, but if there's a lot,
If the mountains
No,
take
just-
down the head honcho, then we're good.
or at least pick off enough of them that there's less danger for us.
Hopefully.
Like, do you think this was their blood?
Around here?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it looks new, doesn't it? And if they've all just passed through here a couple of days ago.
What do you think those guys are doing going up there? Do
I
you
don't
think
know,
they've got a
but
bit of crystal
can't we
too?
do? Maybe they do. I don't know. If they are killing people and then heading towards a machine that controls the stars,
It sounds bad. We should stop
sounds
it.
very bad.
But we need to rest. Malara's already sleeping, so
Yeah, I feel like Veda's sitting with like
Interesting.
Malara's head on her lap, just like stroking her hair.
Yeah.
I feel like Fig's in the middle because he's like furry and warm.
Yeah, everybody's like kind of cuddled into Fig for warmth because he's a giant hot water bottle.
Yeah. We'll call that episode there with you guys sleeping in this little hovel. The cold comes in. I'm actually going to roll to see what the weather is going to be like tomorrow because I think it can be interesting.
Sleeping in a cozy pile.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I think you guys are okay from...
I mean, Veda has a tent, but I don't think all of us would fit in it.
Yeah.
No, Fig would break it.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't believe that you've bringing like meteors rolling for the horrible blizzards.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You just feel the snow start picking up heavier and heavier. You feel the wind kind of dies down, but it just means the snow starts coming down heavy. Fig, I think you probably would wake up in the evening as there's many people on you, and you look out that the snow is now sitting probably foot and a half of snow outside, as you now just all curl up a bit closer to Fig as you have your long rest. And we'll pick it up next time there.
Woo!
I do love the idea of everybody sleeping in a pile. It's very
It's
cute.
super cute. I feel like
Maybe wake her without the doom, but you know.
I love the idea of Evelyn sleeping on Fig's chest because they'd fit so well on there.
It's like a little cat.
Yeah.
I don't know that Emmeline is like. I don't think they're going to curl up like a cat on your chest.
Live
They're
life,
like
Evelyn.
40. I don't know. That's not what I want to do.
They're like 40.
You're missing an opportunity here.